Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hari ini in this video we will learn and I will teach you on our new chapter which is on Islamic money market. I've already uploaded the slides in our Google Classroom. You guys can also watch this video while referring to the slide as well. So in this video, in this today's lesson, I'm going to touch on a little bit on the definition, the function, the participants, as well as the money market instrument. First, on the definition, money market is a mechanism that deals with lending or short-term fund. Short-term funds meaning it is a market or a place that deals with short-term fund. Short-term funds tu memang kalau nak dikatakan short-term fund to any short-term fund memang it is less than one year of maturity period lah. Kalau more than 1 year maturity period, it is not a short-term fund. Dia dah dikira long-term fund. Okay. Money market juga adalah salah satu financial instrument yang karakteristiknya high liquidity and a very short maturities are traded. Meaning disebabkan dia less than 1 year, meaning dia punya high potency of liquid tu is cepat. Dia punya asset to liquid is more faster and sebab tu dia cakap very short maturities and high liquidity tu. And probably the maturity period tu will take place overnight or 12 months to 12 months. So macam dia punya an asset ataupun a short-term funds tu will hold in the market for overnight to 12 months sahaja. Okay, before we move on to the functions of this money market, sini ada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ada 5 function, ada 5 participants in this money market. First one is the bank. The bank akan use this money market untuk dia manage dia punya liquidity. Okay, nanti kita tengok macam mana dia manage liquidity by using money market. As for non-bank financial institution such as takaful and also insurance company also will be using money market to managing dia punya short-term funds lah. As for business corporation, dia will involve in money market to manage ataupun in related for short term investment dia. So dia akan guna money market ni untuk dia gunakan di dalam short term investment company dia, which is at the end of the day, at the end of the maturity date, dia ni sebenarnya untuk mendapatkan return ataupun profit. Okay, as for central bank ni dia akan gunakan money market ni to channel ataupun to manage dia punya monetary policies. Yalah, central bank ni tugas ni memang untuk, the role is actually to managing all of the financial institution in that country. So dengan money market ni they able to develop or managing dia punya monetary policies di dalam country itu. As for government treasury ni, role ni adalah untuk membantu ataupun membantu bank-bank kecil ataupun financial institution yang in need lah. Means dia akan gunakan money market ni untuk dia punya short term funding itu. That is the participants for money market. Now we move on with the functions of money market. Kita ada 3 function. So, kita tengok dulu the first function lah, which is on the liquidity management. Kan macam tadi the first participant yang banks tu kan, dia gunakan money market untuk liquidity management. So inilah penerangan dia. So kiranya money market ni dia is a place ataupun an avenue for financial institution to source daily funding or short term investment. Meaning ia adalah satu tempat, money market ni adalah satu tempat untuk semua bank-bank sourcekan dia punya daily funding ataupun short term investment tu. Kenapa semua financial institution diperlukan benda lah tu? adalah untuk maintainkan dia punya optimal liquidity first. Second, dia adalah untuk meet dia punya customer demand at any time. Yalah, customer demand tu is unrestricted. You never know customer nak apa for certain period. Meaning it is like a huge amount of demand yang memang unrestricted. So bila customer demand at any time, when dia able to like managing dia punya source daily funding in the money market, so they able to meet dia punya customer demand yang unrestricted tadi lah. And then it also give flexibility to face every liquidity situation that might arise. And that because of dia involved in this place of money market tu, they able ataupun dia freely face any liquidity issues that might arise in the transaction ataupun during the period ataupun situation tu lah. So this is the reason why financial institution involved in money market. First adalah untuk sources of daily funding dia. Okay, untuk mendapatkan daily funding from the money market. So bila dia dah dapatkan daily funding from the money market, dia able to maintain dia punya optimal liquidity, dia able to meet customer demand, as well as they able to like flexible to face any liquidity situation yang might arise in the institution tu sendiri. Sebab dia dah ada daily funding dia yang dekat dalam money market. So dia tak risau dah. So at the end of the day, sebenarnya financial institution ni dia will enjoy low cost funding or investment return with low risk. Biasanya financial Islamic financial institution ni akan involve in money market, participate in money market because dia akan enjoy low cost funding and also a low risk of investment return, kan? That is how the participant manage dia punya liquidity issues atau liquidity of funds using money market. That is the first function. Second function is money market tu is a place for secondary trading of money market instrument. Okay, macam tadi kita ada participants kan. So the participants tu sebenarnya dia akan depends on rate of return. Baru dia will decide whether dia orang tu nak buy ataupun jual dia punya instrument in the money market. So with that, money market tu akan provide different level of risk, return and maturity. That is the function of money market juga satunya. Sebab the participant tu sebenarnya bukan suka-suka jual ataupun beli money market tu untuk ni lah dia punya function yang first tadi, bukan senang-senang dia nak beli ataupun jual. Dia mesti bergantung kepada rate of return. Okay, at the end of the day mesti diorang nakkan return ataupun profit. So disebabkan itu, money market juga akan provide these participants ataupun investor with different level of risk, return and maturity date depending on their kesesuaian mereka lah. As for the third function, which is channel for the central bank to conduct their monetary policy. Yang ni pun ada dekat dalam participant tadi. Dia punya participant is central bank, kan? Central bank ni dia macam money market ni, dia membantu central bank untuk managing their monetary policies or develop their monetary policies. Sebab apa? Dia nak cakapkan due to the existence in both capital market and banking institution, money market ni like an ideal platform, okay, for central bank to conduct monetary operation. Dia nak cakap kat sini because central bank ni will managing ataupun financial institution ni ada involved with these two kinds of institution, capital market and also banking institution. There are link between these two institution, capital market and banking institution. So central bank ni, like as bank pusat, dia mesti nak manage these two institution well, isn't it? So dengan money market ni, dia able to operate the monetary well lah. Even dengan cara apa? Example dia dekat sini. Example dia dekat sini. Central bank will use the open market operation. Open market operation ni kat tepi saya ada bagi example or maksud. Open market operation is like a place for the central bank to buy or to sell dia punya government security, like to influence dia punya liquidity and interest rate in the financial system. Meaning that open market operation ni is like a place for central bank to buy and sell government securities lah. So dia akan gunakan this kind of open market to purchase and sell eligible securities, and then dia provide short-term financing directly to the bank yang having a deficit situation. This is how central bank managing ataupun control dia punya monetary operation or monetary policies for all of the financial institution in the country. Okay, dengan cara inilah. So sini saya dah bagi dua maksud, which is first on the open market operation macam saya dah cakap tadi, and second on the security. Maybe probably you guys doesn't even know what is the meaning of security. Security tu is like a financial instrument. Dia macam any financial asset yang can be traded in the market lah. Okay, financial asset, securities tu. So the central bank ni akan menggunakan open market operation tu to sell dia punya securities, the government securities, and then they will use it to provide a short-term funding or financing to banks yang mana ada deficit problem. Okay, that's meaning that from money market lah kan, open market operation is money market. They will actually managing all of the financial institution in that country because dia bank pusat, isn't it? Next is the money market instrument. Money market instrument ni is like macam a product for money market. So money market tu is a place, isn't it? So it is a mechanism to deals with short term fund. So it is like a place. For a place tu dia menggunakan this kind of instrument untuk dalam market tu lah. So the first product or the first instrument is Treasury Bills. Treasury Bills ni erti kata lain dia, it is a short term government securities lah. A short term government financial asset. Okay, yang akan digunakan dia cakap Treasury Bills ni biasanya dia represent a short term debt obligations of the government lah, sebab nama pun dia punya government security and short terms punya securities. So dia extremely deep and liquid, extremely deep and liquid sebab satu short term less than 1 year, meaning extremely deep and liquid tu probably within that overnight atau to 12 month, 1 bulan pun itu dah kira cepat sangat dia cair lah aset dia tu. So hence investor yang going into Treasury Bills ni akan face little risk of not being able to sell their securities when they want to. Sebab apa? Sebab Treasury Bills ni sendiri cepat cair kan, dia extremely deep and liquid, meaning having a little risk on not getting paid back tu rendah kan. And itulah maksud dia Treasury Bills tu. Okay. For the repurchase agreement ataupun repos, itu kata singkat dia. Repurchase agreement ni biasanya digunakan dalam transaction in money market, and dia adalah represent a bilateral transaction. This one, bilateral transaction. Sebab apa? Dia involve with a purchase and resales of securities by agreement. Kalau by agreement, kita tahu, kita dah belajar kan subjek kontrak kan. By agreement is involving two parties to like involve or sign in a contract, isn't it? So kalau ada persetujuan antara dua pihak, dia related with bilateral transaction. Tapi kalau involve with satu pihak sahaja, kiranya satu je yang accept and offer, dia related with unilateral transaction, not bilateral transaction. So dia nak cakap repurchase agreement ni is a purchase and resales of security by bilateral transaction or agreement. So it is a very short term punya fine, normally 3 to 14 days. So macam saya cakap, money market ni sendiri is a place for short term investment, short term fund, which is less than 1 year. So semua produk, semua instrumen dalam ni merangkumi maturity date yang less than 1 year lah. Macam ini, macam repos ni, it is within 3 to 14 days. And biasa dia akan gunakan repurchase agreement ni for treasury security, government bond and other liquid instrument. So repurchase agreement is just an agreement. Okay, agreement that short term agreement lah. Macam treasury bills ni is a short term government punya financial asset yang akan diinvest by investors. Okay. Untuk negotiable certificate of deposit ataupun CDs, it is a certificate ataupun also known as bank issued security. Okay, CDs tu. Dia di-createdkan from the bank deposit, and it's also document. It is like a document of deposit and specified the interest rate and maturity date. Meaning, okay, contoh tadi kita ada agreement. So bila dah, let's say dia dah ada agreement dalam money market tu kan, dia dah ada agreement, dia kena ada certificate of deposit, which is, it is like a written document yang dalam tu dah tertulis semua berkenaan dengan how much dia punya deposit, the interest rate as well as the maturity date. So dengan certificate deposit ni, dia able to enable this deposit to trade on the secondary market. Meaning dengan ada agreement, contoh kita dah ada agreement, dah ada persetujuan tadi. So contoh kita dapat certificate deposit juga. So dengan certificate deposit tu kita ada bukti lah kan, sebab dia macam like a document. So kita ada bukti. So dengan bukti tu, dengan certificate tu, kita able to trade in the secondary market as well. Sebab apa? Sebab at the end of the maturity date kan, kalau kita ada certificate deposit ni kan, at the end of the maturity date, kita akan receive principal as well as the interest amount yang tercatat dalam dokumen tu. So nak cakap certificate of deposit ni is like a bukti lah for your purchase or sell in the money market. So itu boleh nak dicakapkan macam tu. Okay, for commercial purpose, it is also an instrument in money market. So dia macam a short term securities for the money market. So and also dia adalah unsecured debt instrument issued by the corporation. Unsecured debt ni maksud unsecured debt pun kita dah tahu, dia adalah sesuatu yang debt instrument yang tak ada keselamatan. I mean, it is not secured. So, biasanya corporation or company yang issue commercial paper ni, dia ada good credit rating. Yelah, company yang ada good credit rating sahaja yang berani untuk nak issue unsecured debt instrument. Kalau dia tak ada good credit rating, dia go into unsecured debt instrument, probably dia akan bankrupt ataupun dia akan having a loss in the investment lah, atau sebab this debt is unsecured, it is not secured, meaning if you invest in this kind of debt instrument, for you to having loss or risk tu is high, kan? And that one is the commercial paper punya characteristic, and it is will matured no longer than 270 days. That is commercial papers. Next is on the bankers acceptance ataupun BA. Okay. BA ni is a discount instrument tau, yang issued by companies and guaranteed by the bank. Meaning companies biasanya akan minta tolong bank to guarantee this kinds of service bank ni akan bagi, bank tu akan enhancekan dia punya credit rating and makes them transferable. So company biasanya akan go into bankers acceptance untuk suruh bank ni provide service, dua service ni, this one and this one. So the bank tu akan guarantee to enhancekan dia punya bank credit rating and make them transferable. And second one, dia bank tu akan ataupun the bank's acceptance tu will facilitate to trade by financing good that have not been transferred from the seller to buyer. Meaning dia akan bankers acceptance tu or the bank will facilitate in the trade of financing good, yang mana barang-barang ataupun instrumen tak terjual, bank tu tidak terjual ataupun tak terbeli, dia akan tolonglah mempromotkan dia punya financing goods tu. That is bankers acceptance. So all of these 5 instruments of money market is less than 1 year kind of maturity period. Next is the need for Islamic money market. Why we need Islamic money market? Okay, Islamic money market ni sama je macam conventional bank. Okay, sebab dia cakap macam ni, dia also exposed to a liquidity risk. Dia sama macam Islamic money market. I mean dia sama, Islamic bank ni sama macam conventional bank. Dia will expose to the liquidity risk. Islamic bank holds a liquid asset while their liabilities are relatively liquid. Maksudnya biasanya aset dia orang memang tak cepat cair, but dia punya liability tu yang cepat cair. Macam mana tahu? Sebab apa? Sebab the nature of Islamic banks punya operation that transform the terms of liabilities into different maturities and characteristics on the asset side of the balance sheet. So the risk tu, they are unable, because of that they are unable to match dia punya maturity differences. Macam mana? Example, contoh maturity of balance sheet days tu terbagi kepada dua. Macam tadi, illiquid of asset and liquids of liability. So ada two kinds of maturity in the balance sheet. One is maturity of asset and second one is maturity of liability. Maturity of asset ni macam ni. Contoh kita, the bank tu give loan to the customer. So bila dia dah reach maturity of loan, of that loan, Meaning customer tu dah habis bayar semua hutang dia kepada kita. So dia ibarat ataupun dia adalah cash inflow of the bank lah. Meaning customer, kita bagi duit loan kepada dia kan. So bila dah reach maturity of that loan, customer dah bayar full hutang dia kepada kita. So kita dapat duit. So dia represent kita punya cash inflow. As for the maturity of liquidity, for example like fixed deposit, kan customer akan deposit ataupun masukkan duit dia in fixed deposit, and on a certain kind of period dia tak boleh keluarkan duit tu sampai dah maturity date, sampai dah tahap maturity date of that period, baru customer boleh keluarkan duit yang tadi dia simpan dalam fixed deposit. Dia akan keluarkan on certain period. So itu represent cash outflow of the bank. Sebab daripada fixed deposit of the bank tadi tu, customer dah keluarkan duit dia daripada account dia. So itu represent cash outflow. So from these two difference of maturity date and maturity of asset and maturity liability ni, they have a different maturity and characteristic, isn't it? So the bank unable to match dia punya maturity differences. Sometimes cash inflow boleh lebih tinggi daripada cash outflow. Sometimes cash inflow boleh lebih rendah daripada cash outflow. So the banks tu will either have a surplus or a deficit fund. That's why dia punya liability tu is more liquid than the asset. So kalau asset ni liquid lebih cepat, dia represent cash inflow of the bank, so tak ada masalah. But then on the maturity of liability tu yang problem dia tu, sebab cepat sangat benda ni cair ataupun cepat sangat duit dalam bank tu keluar. So disebabkan itu dia akan depend on disebabkan this kind of issue, dia akan depend on money market to manage their liability ni. Okay, that is why Islamic money market ataupun why Islamic bank need Islamic money market. Islamic bank juga cannot utilize conventional interest-based instrument due to Sharia non-compliance. In case lah bank tu doesn't have any fine, dia tak ada, disebabkan dia punya nature tu memang dia tak kenakan interest, meaning dia tak ada extra profit from the interest. Dia memang perlukan, sebab tu dia perlukan Islamic money market ni as dia punya fund to manage dia punya liquidity in the bank. Sebab dia tak ada interest, dia tak kenakan interest as the backup profit. Satu lagi is why perlunya Islamic money market ni, dia ada terangkan ataupun dia dah tekankan dia punya features and advantage of Islamic money market ni dalam slide. So this is the need this one. This is the features of and the advantage of Islamic money market. The first one, of course, Islamic money market tu dia provide Sharia compliant short term instrument. So memang dia sesuai lah dengan Islamic bank tu, sebab dia Sharia compliance money market to manage dia punya liquidity. And also dia offer secure instrument for the participants that have a minimal risk of exposure. Kalau unsecured debt tadi ataupun unsecured instrument tadi, macam saya cakap, biasanya company yang have a good credit rating sahaja, sebab risk for getting loss tu tinggi. Tapi Islamic money market ni dia hanya offer secured instrument sahaja, which has a minimal risk exposure, and dia akan allow IFIs or Islamic financial institution to act as a both investors and financing client. Yalah, mula-mula institution tu, Islamic bank tu akan invest in the money market, and then when they get the fine from the money market tu, dia akan financekan that fund, using that fund to finance dia punya client. So that is Islamic money market, how Islamic money market works. And they also will enhance dia punya institutional robustness of IFIS as a place for access and deficit of funds are available over short period, meaning dengan adanya fund atau Islamic money market ni, dia able to improve IFIS punya service and dia juga able to reduce the displaced commercial risk for the IFIS. So like as access deposit are no longer ideal, meaning dengan ada Islamic money market ni, dia able to reduce dia punya commercial risk of IFIS sebab it is a short term funding and dia akan reduce access money access deposit in the funds. That is only for today. I will continue the rest in the next class. Thank you for watching. Bye.